Today, the president of Sierra Leone, President Julius Maada Bio, been go na parliament for the opening session of the 5th parliament of the Second Republic. And this is now the 4th session now. This is now the time where the president can go and make the parliamentarians, them where they represent we the people, make them know the things them way he don't do, the things them way he don't achieve, and the things them way he plan for do in the coming years. He tackle beaucoup side them. He talk about human capital development, the COVID-19 and healthcare, agriculture and food security, basic and senior secondary school education, science, technology and innovation, information and communication, governance reform, foreign policy, development planning, social protection, infrastructure, transportation sector, the economy, monetary policy and trade, mines and mineral resource, fisheries, environment, sustainability and resilience, sports, public safety and security, immigration and peacekeeping, Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, Labor and Social Security, tourism, youth policy, increasing energy access to water, land reform and housing, national cohesion and democracy, institutional effectiveness and reform, judiciary justice sector reform, gender, women's empowerment, SGBV, social welfare and human rights. All the areas then they, now the president late today before parliament. Waiting he don't do, and waiting a plan for do in the coming years we left for him. But again, you want left a stamp where for that person can me think say then go continue him. But for today, I want to make we just look inside two green sector when are infrastructure and agriculture. There's a photo on the screen where you see a reverend father hold the mic for an imam. Those kind of scene they rarely able for come by, but because of the religious tolerance where we get in a salon, we able for make that happen. When it comes to religion, the tolerance is an understatement. For say tolerate one another, an understatement. We're intertwined and we they flow perfectly. But however, when it comes to politics, I didn't know more now. But I think say we can't just see that kind of picture there and we know talk about them because it's a good one. And we just hope and pray say Sierra Leone continue in that way. Like I said, with all within the president laying a table, we want to touch on agriculture and infrastructure. Because today we hear something about the Lungi Bridge. Lungi Bridge, the president, he really want left a mark. And the Lungi people them, and can't catch me today say, and like waiting there. Make we watch on infrastructure within the presidency. It's saying government don't argue from the outset and the purposeful infrastructure project We go expand the economy, we go support job creation and support service delivery right across the country. He said they don't make significant progress in constructing over 200 kilometers of major township and trunk roads in the western area and some part of the provinces. He said among the area when they talk so, na the Lungi Toke Road. That road day. That day we see done that road day. Because not too long ago I passed there. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I passed that road day. 30 days. But then they param. But that road they don't do for done now. But anyway, the president put on. He said the Hillside Bypass Road Phase 2. That road day back. In fact, you know what, in that particular road there, I don't know. For ease the traffic na the east, then suppose for make people and they use that road there in the evening, the rush hours, even in the morning hours. That road there they help, even though when you pass there, you get for go wash your car. But that road there they help, but for one reason, 6 o'clock, then he left I think for an hour or an hour 30 minutes. Then they lock her. And the traffic go in a Mount Tikot, Kisi Road and all this. And anyway, let me be safe. The Moyamba Junction and 3 bridges them. The Bo Bandajuma Road, the Pendembu Kailan Road, the Bo Tikonko Road, the Wellington Masiaka Road. Wellington Masiaka Road. Are we talking about the toll road here? Okay, let's continue. Wellington Massacre, the Bandajuma Mano River Union Bridge, the Lincoln University Regent Road. It says citizens then can see great progress where these governments don't make. Each of them area where in don't talk so. It's in a well-constructed roads then. He said then place there where you don't call so. Work either they go on right now or work go start soon. They say in addition, critical road them na the eastern and the central district and the western of Freetown, like the Funkia Godrich, the Waterloo, the Bow, the Kenema, the Bond. Okay, now not just brush Waterloo so quick because Waterloo look the old road na ya. This old road na Waterloo, why they look so right now where they before me. If then work on them, it will be very good because this road they come up from Grafton, take come na the Tumbo road na the Tumbo Highway, the Waterloo Tumbo Highway. And they can directly and even continue. But for right now, the other day I go inside village, I see and they try for say then they do something inside village. There, when I don't know na village, on a kind of the old road. On a kind of the old road. There are the big. Let's continue. They say graveling works, then they're on the way for 40 selected roads nationwide, totaling 1,780 kilometers. Then road there then linked by key feeder roads them we go enhance connectivity and access to market and services. These are the things that will be done to talk about. I don't know the ministry responsible for this works. And they are letting list the roads, sabi the roads them. They need for list. And because I didn't give the president this too. Although this is not like a summary, I know, but I didn't give the president this. We want for know the road, then they talk. Because we people them after agriculture, now making this infrastructure and agriculture they deal with today. We then don't get better one way after they don't harvest. Now there's some mango or original can rotting because good not there for pull and do. So and they make mention saying now for the market and all them things then they so they ask them let them list them roads and they for we. They say the roads here and go link yes. He saying government go forward to Parliament a review of the Professional Engineering Registration Council Act 1990 where they go regulate and the for practice engineering. He said when that they don't done, when they enact and the law go ensure quality standards, we go meet all infrastructure projects, thereby reducing the high public expenditure on the kind way where then they work on maintenance projects and safety risk where they associate with poor quality construction. What's in this they try for tell we? The president they try for tell we now say there are things then they need for do. So something then they do right now not correct. Now I make you ask for an enactment of this particular bill we go to parliament so that things them go correct down the road. Because as it is, not to me talk more, he say poor quality construction. He say government also they work with the European Union and the World Bank for replace 14 cable ferry crossing in the country with modern bridges. In response to the collapse of the Savage Street Bridge inside September 2020, saying government don't complete the reconstruction of the bridge and they don't open it to traffic within 3 months as promised. But they are other member. Now be 3 months. Anyway, now waiting and tell the president. Yes, it be done, but they not open them within 3 months. It was not opened. I'll continue no more. He's saying government in future go engage much more proactively for prevent then kind crisis here. Alright. Presidentbio say then go work proactively for preventing kind crisis here. He's saying government go also construct, comprehensively rehabilitate and make disabled friendly public building nationwide. You don't tell who they read this. You don't say who they hear. From the previous, before the previous administration, self. You don't tell. But I'll continue. He's saying government don't successfully plan, design, negotiate the construction of the new airport terminal project within Lungi. You know, it's within, let's see, because I don't interview the Minister of Tourism, Madam Memunatu Pratt, and that was in the conversation about this new airport, because I don't see nothing the way me come. He explained why me not see nothing. But anyway, Presidentbio say, this particular 270 million project by the Turkish developer, now we mean the Suma Group, go construct a new passenger terminal, a new presidential VIP terminal, a new parallel taxiway to exiting runway, a new air traffic control tower, a new search and rescue and firefighting facility, as well as rehabilitating the existing runway with ultra modern. Yeah. With ultra modern navigational aids. That's a be safe. He say this now a build, operate, transfer agreement. When me say you bill am, you operate, I take your money. Where you don't take your money, you transfer and give it. Now in that, he said the agreement they not require no funding from the government. He said during the COVID-19 period, this single largest investment from the Republic of Togo to any African country. Okay. He say for urban road safety in government, they consider for install 7 pedestrian bridges, about 35 traffic lights and 500 street lights na Freetown. Presidentbio, sir. I don't know. This one they tell you so. Dr. James VB. He tell you, don't pass. It don't pass so. This one. This one we just tell you so. By now, according to what they be tell with that team, all team for they now, oh, they enjoy them. But anyway, we dey wait. We dey wait, yeah? Now we'll continue. Me government don't complete the pre-visibility study of the Lungi Bridge. When I say pre, hey, My Lungi people, are you there? Eh? Me government don't complete the one way they do before visibility study of the Lungi Bridge. And the cable stayed design concept has been reviewed to reduce the total cost of the bridge. So now, the bridge don't cost $1.2 billion. Before, we'll be noticing that be 2.5. So man say 3. All man be the give number. But now, after all they don't do, we don't really say now the bridge now $1.2 billion. It say a developer to finance the bridge construction has also been identified. Now the developer now can before for let identify him or waiting how this identification take place. Say a developer they don't see we go finance this bridge. And once they don't rectify them by parliament, Lungi Bridge go start. Not to me say. Waiting the president talk today, now they read so for we. So now this, the president tell we about Lungi Bridge, talk about the airport, he talk about the traffic lights. Like I said, that traffic lights by now, from that time we them be tell we. If we go check all what's in them be city, if we don't enjoy it now. Okay? All right. Let's continue. I be tell you they deal with waiting infrastructure and agriculture. Now infrastructure I read so for you waiting the president tell we. Now I want to come to agriculture and food security. If I forget good road, if I forget good buildings, if I forget all that thing and day, but agriculture and food security. This now it's in the president say. It's a consistent with the National Agricultural Transformation Program in government don't team up Tranga one as then committed for implement program and activity them for boost rice self-sufficiency. We mean say rest for do for we. Rest et for do for we. It's a crop diversification, livestock development, the goat, the sheep, the cow, the fowl and all things, and sustainable forest and biodiversity management. This now agriculture, the president they talk about. He said in government go provide higher seed quality to achieve higher yields. The government go provide. We mean say the government not provide yet, but will provide. Who that then go provide them to? We will want them. Also we go take them. In government go provide higher seed quality for achieve higher yields. He's saying go establish a new plantations of cash crops and undertake comprehensive soil survey for determine the kind crop type or livestock will best suit and waiting at the soil management techniques farmers they need. Go ask Salo member. Whose crop type and the livestock? Yeah. What if you say Salomon go talk if they ask them this question here? He's saying government will. Okay? I want to take note of the will. Not so he don't do, but not we get for do. Presidentbio say in government go support agriculture financing with a 50 million credit facility. Presidentbio sir, your boy is here. Triple A. Yeah, I don't know how for get to, but myself I think say it's high time I get for this 50 million credit. Yeah, because we all long on a bush now for plants. Myself the plants in my backyard. Any kind way, myself go need for the financing. He say e-vouchers for input and mechanism services. Then go extend the service and make pre-position machine rights available to private sector them and the small holder farmers across the country. I hope and pray when it comes to stuff like this, we don't need parties and business. We need the entire country so that people go able forget thing for it. Now, only that way we go able for sustain we safe. Okay? He said the $54 million investment in rice cultivation, Narumbe Swamp, by Agro Elite LLC, and additional $30 million secured from Exim Bank for develop the water management and irrigation infrastructure for support rice cultivation around Tomabom. He said that when they already on the way. They don't start them. And so the president say, like I said, the president talk beaucoup. I be don't outline all usai the president and be touch on today. But I tell you say, for today on, we just want for look infrastructure and agriculture. Now I just read so for you. Boku other thing then day. We see clip then day where they pass around. Everybody now what interest them. Now and then they take. But we don't lay a table. Agriculture, infrastructure. Let's come with Usman Toli. Make we hear waiting in get for it today. Yes, Usman Toli, welcome on board, sir. You get the platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Triple A, and thanks to everybody where they listen. I think this is not a very interesting topic today. We'll discuss about the state opening of the fourth session of the fifth parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone. And the two sectors them where you choose so now very interesting sectors them. One, that agriculture and food security, where now one of the backbone for diversify the country economy. And also you talk about the infrastructure side, especially with the new government, we don't make a number of promises them way we don't get from the new government, where most of the promises them and most of the development them way the non-state is questionable. Now I make them two sectors, yeah, them very, very interesting. And you choose them, I know say you choose them for a reason. Okay, now we start with the president's speech, the opening speech. It is important for we pay attention, especially we members of parliament. Them we are listening and I watch the entire exercise. All in the do clap, 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 clap. But it's fine for them to pay attention to some of this speech and words the way this man they make. Important for no say where they make this speech here, nothing the way the various ministries, the departments, them agencies, them they don't present their achievements them and then produce their achievement here, then compile them and make this speech. So every department, ministry, they produce their own report. Now, based on that report, the president they can, now parliament, they make your submission. So it left to we the public for look into this, whether actually waiting and states now that paper it actually now real information whether we see that they happen at the ground. So from the president in speech or in submission today, one interesting thing we take now opening statement, and I quote, he said, for this 60th anniversary of our nation's independence, I propose that we redesign the pathway of our endeavor to build a Sierra Leone that works for all of us. Citizens should understand their rights, roles, and responsibilities, why it is important to abide by rules and laws, what equality and leadership mean, what public accountability entails, why respect for diversity and national cohesion matters, what it means to care for the environment. He said these are essential elements of a disciplined, inclusive, peaceful, progressive, and resilient society. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, I mean, this is clear. It talked fine. With the beginning. The question will be sent back to them. This is a challenge, say, in order for develop a country forward, the responsibility lie on we the citizens as well as the leadership. We get equal responsibility. But the question again where they throw to the president, would I get an important role for ensure, say, we the citizens then, we observe, we write, we roles and responsibilities, and that what in the leadership for play towards this role. Over the past 60 years, world gain independence. What has the leadership of we various political parties, where don't they in governance? What did they don't do for enhance? Say we the citizens then. We know your roles, rights, and responsibilities. What did they don't do towards national cohesion and make sure say respect diversity and there is inclusion? Clearly, AAA and all the other listeners then, I think say it go back to with previous submissions that government in, government out, they don't fail we in terms of ensuring that they provide the platform where necessary for bring national cohesion and that of development. Based on the fact that they continue for divide there is no inclusion, then polarize with society, making sure say they able to divide and rule. So we will go back to the president with this statement we come up with today. Say they get a responsibility as leaders. The onus they on them. Now they get the greatest responsibility. We agree with them. So we the citizens them will get a role for play for ensure say the development and the redesigning of your own country, where they all the yearn for, or we all the yearn for, the greatest responsibility lies with the leadership, because they don't divide and rule. That is the first part where I take from the president speech. Now we go to the sectors them we highlight. I start with the infrastructural sector, where is very alarming. Well, I think one of the things that we highlight, I mean, with this kind of speech, what you can normally expect, would expect the president to come, can explain to we what in a development them, the achievement them, we don't get. And we signed the for go. I think in some of your submissions, them in all the different sectors, some of them indeed it managed for Giwi what in the achievement them, what in the successes, and we signed and plan for go. It left to we the citizens then from the numerous interviews, from your own observation, from all what you don't understand, whether what you can put on the table today in your submission, if you all water. Now that we therefore look into. Well, of course, you talk about some of the development and the roads them. For example, in the western area, you talk about, I think, 200 kilometers of trunk roads and township roads we highlight. And they talk about over the next, whatever, they aim for construct about 1,780 kilometers of roads, which is over 150,000 miles. Well, one interesting observation, Triple E, I think you mentioned that about our country being donor-driven. Interestingly, most of this project, them what they talk about, is based on the support of the World Bank, the EU, or the IMF. Yeah, most of the. For example, you talk about 13 cable ferry crossing and small ferry there, where they use mostly in other villages there for cross. You say they expect the EU, then they work with the EU as well as the World Bank for help for fund those projects in order for make sure say that they happen. So this is why sometimes today we just get for old and tear with a pinch of salt. Because if World Bank or EU not provide those funds, those development, the infrastructural development, then they will go ahead. Of course, we talk about that Savage Street Bridge where we know say it collapsed in September, say they don't complete it inside 3 months. Whether not true or not, we don't say they don't complete them, but as you say, no more the time frame is another matter. But we take them as it is. And one of the interesting statements also what the president make, he said the government don't plan, it don't design, and it don't negotiate the construction of the new airport terminal project in Lungi. See, this is why sometimes we ask a lot of questions. Remember, AAA, and to everybody with the listener, very carefully if you follow the terminal construction for don't start by now. For don't start because when they launch that project, they tell we say within 60 days, the project for don't kick off, if I don't start. But again, they tell you about plan, design, and negotiated. By now, we expect say the president talks say this project not start. These are some of the critical questions that we get for us. We're not saying that it will do, it will happen, but we're talking about development, and it is time bound. Yeah, it's time bound. A government, for be credible, you get for be careful with the way where they put the time limit where they put. As it stands, we know say the new terminal not started. Then it just continue for as sure we say the project therefore happen. And again, AAA, we also talk about the Lungi Bridge, which he also mentioned. See how he put the statement. He said a non-complete pre-feasibility study of the Lungi Bridge. You listen to that. And this is a government where Dr. Tambi, where the chairman, where they the Dr. Tambi, when the chairman of the presidential infrastructure and development, where as sure we say the Lungi Bridge for don't start by December. We are not criticizing the government here, but what we are doing, we just want, we want led development. We are very anxious for development. So when we, the citizens, are anxious for development, time is critical. You don't talk, say, they start the project before the end of last year. Now we're there, the 5th month of 2021. The project still not started. Still they can't assure we. We are a desperate nation. Salone are a desperate nation in the sense that development, we lack behind with development. So when they can't make their expectations, they raise the expectations. We are very anxious. This is why most people are critical about the government. Not that we oppose the government, but we are desperate for development. So when you state your time, be mindful. Be mindful. We are desperate, very, very critical about the time. So again, we get concerned. And look at the project here. Listen to his statement. So all along, they're not being get investor. They're not being get a developer. I think they refer to an investor here. We're ready for putting money. Remember, the Lungi Bridge was based on the financing model we then call build, operate, and transfer, just like the terminal. Yeah, investor can say putting money, he spend them, he bill them, then he operate them. We don't pull the money and over gigs government. So all along they not been get developer. Then they raise the expectations. Then we give it time. These are some of the critical issues that we talk. The way how this government they manage expectations is problematic. It's problematic. So again, until we see the project start, we are still critical about the Lungi Bridge because of the way how they don't manage the expectations. Then they let me down with the way how they set up things. Okay, so overall, Triple A, to be honest with you, the president, his speech making couch is sugar-coated. It's sugar-coated. I will give an example. Remember, last submission, last speech we make last year, yeah, he talked about, he praised SALCA communication, yeah, he talked sweet about that until at some point, wait a while, then come off for come, remember, unbundling of the SALCA, yeah, wait a while, grab. He said, you, the president, being calm. You can't praise how SALCA they do well. How now they can't tell we say they can't unbundle SALCA because you see say development no go well. That was the critical issue then. You see, so these are some of the things we want to talk about. Now let's talk quickly to agriculture so that I go allow we fellow panelists guys. The agricultural sector is another troubled one. Trouble one in the sense, if you quite remember, I think this is the 3rd time we get a minister of agriculture. Recently, softly. Remember the previous small way they don't pull out recently with a reshuffle. Now we get a new minister of agriculture. I think Abubakar Karim, the new minister. And this is now one of the ministries then. We get 2 deputies. You get deputy 1, deputy 2, because this sector is so significant, very, very important. If we economy is to be diversified, I think agriculture plays an important role because agriculture, now there we get the greatest advantage in terms of diversifying the economy. We no need to rely on other international partners much for develop the agricultural sector. This is why it's important. But let me tell you, one thing I observed today about the president in speech, critically, is that it's plan-driven, intention-driven. It tells you about the intentions of the government. It will be more, it will be more interesting if we state clearly what are the achievements where they don't make the agricultural sector. We know say they make a number of development, a number of successes in the agricultural sector. Yeah. And I think say why emphasize much on the plants is because they get a number of promises again from investors. Then you remember you talk about a 50 million credit facility. You talk about the e-voucher, and you talk about a $54 million investment in the cultivation of rice from Agro Elite LLC. Yeah. But one interesting observation, again, the borrowing from Exim Bank. Exim Bank is that of international financing with high interest. Exim Bank. Remember Exim Bank? I think Exim Bank are one of the banks that way for finance that airport where they abandon Namamama. Now one of the banks them way for finance that project where them finance Namamama. They abandon them because of the interest rate. Yeah. Why? They don't go back to Exim for go borrow $30 million for can finance the agricultural sector. If it is profitable, if it is good, because borrowing itself not always is a bad thing, provided the borrowing is sustainable and make development in the sector. But to crown it all, AAA, this government, we are very critical of the appraisals, of the success system, of the submissions. Some of the achievements, we will say they don't get them. They don't make some achievement. But they speak louder than we expect. Because what they do, the way how they manage your expectations, they treat you as if we are fools. Then they should quote some of the success system. The manner in which they manage your expectation and they treat you as if we are fools, and we are not. How long you only repeat? Let me summarize. How long they only repeat about this Lungi bridge? Each time they come with a parliamentary session and they talk about the Lungi bridge. Yeah? Each time they encounter with short-term promises. This time they say it can't start, they don't get developer. Next time when they can and will tell you, say, well, other things. This is a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. If I saw that they manage people's expectation, I'm afraid. They go down well with the people. We are people that we're desperate for success. We're desperate for development in that country. So we are criticizing the government because we want to push the government for let them bring success we want, the development that we want in our country. So I will stop here. Let me chance to my fellow panelists. Thank you very much, AAA, and thanks to everybody where they're listening. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Usman Tole. Thank you for your time, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's very, very, very windy here, currently in Sierra Leone. So if you hear any kind of a noise behind, na breeze they blow. The breeze can they blow, they make the rain self not come better. Make we come with us friend, make we hear what thing it gets for we. Yes, us friend, welcome on board, sir. You get the platform.
Yes, thank you very much, Kule, for giving me the platform, and thanks to previous analyst, Mr. Usman Toli. We tell and thank you and you, sir, and to us, the listeners and viewers. Introduction already don't. I'm not going to repeat all thing again because now the fourth session of the fifth Parliament opening in a Salon, Republic of Salon, and so on and so forth. But as you say, today now two things even just want to take out of the speech where the president give. The speech where the president give, we know say usually everybody they expect somebody for talk to in picking them. That be the address in family or the family they can meet up and discuss. But here is an issue wherein something where as Mr. Montgomery try for life from whereas some of them are things and wouldn't repeated things. But the point we me just want for pick up now, yeah, no want for go too much. But now regarding the infrastructure, but we begin at the agricultural sector. The agricultural sector, not that people will say the people are not do nothing, or agriculture not grow. But I believe see when they talk about agriculture, they try to talk about agriculture, we not to sustainable agriculture no more. Because at this we don't do for years now after in between times. Like the time when the population below, we get come out from like when the revival so we get SLPB, we get recuperate, we get all those kind of things, and we even get an agriculture place between Makini and Loshan, one place where the Chinese and they get. They can get many places like Kelema, they get places and where they don't agriculture. But the idea, no more maybe pick the way they talk about diversified crops where they want for bring come, which is good. But we don't know say already salon we don't get diversified crops. You know what people can grow any crop they we not to we know the any grow they. In other words, some of the crops them you get tropical crops, you get crops where they grow, we say na desert says. You get crops where they grow outside the weather cold. Some outside the weather hot fast wind like them South America. So already that has been. But I don't know no more when it try to say you don't introduce that diversified cropping. In other words, naive then they try for call kind of either you get a mixed cropping or you get also they call intercropping. That way one plant done, you dey grow another one so that you go that other plant they put um they put nutrients to the soil. So in other words, you dey rotate them or you dey shift them. Or some of them are long term, like they really talk of them plantations like palm oil. But in between, while they wait the palm tree, then they grow for like okay, you palm kernels and fruits, then you get you palm oil, or you produce your palm oil or vegetable oil. You can get in between small crops and like corn and other things. But the idea no more they say, I know they say what they say is wrong. But I don't know on which diversified crops all they try for do because this has been so they teach ways of food agriculture. You dey do your crop rotation, you dey do intercropping, you get upland, you get wetland, you get the dry land, you get different things. But the problem of the soil again come inside. Salon we not say we areas is different with different soil type. The soil type, now in them they look, I mean any people that they don't look with their common sense, based on God, the knowledge we they give them, they know say this area, this na sand and silt. Now in they make place for let granite grow well. So they call them legume plants. The legume plant, now good plants, they grow for certain season, granite, and then you harvest them, then you bring nutrients to the soil so that the next year you dey plant then you rest. Because you don't add the good protein for the other season. So in other words, at the level of no more, the soil type is quite good for study because they bring this soil type here from the basis of what we talk about the Milton Magai, who they see them, we don't come put as a university. I can still remember what they say they give that's when they go give speech day. They say that now one of the jobs before that they don't pronounce that. That now one of the jobs where they don't try for implement the or the causes they will not implement the so that then go able for study soil type and know whose type soil would they take particular plants. But I believe say like people like they say if you involve the farmers, you look into history based on your speech. You look into other things them. Say this I know say na kenema na cacao them they grow. So all I get for bring on now, not to diversify crops, would they call them a kind of one way look more improve. I can't get the word now, but improve and more developed nature. So in other words, sometimes instead of it take 6 months for produce, it take 4 months for produce. That is the area where they talk about say, okay, now I dey bring a diversified crop different from that one. And at the cocoa side, I believe say another one they don't begin to bring it when they say the agriculture, then they develop them, then get the seedlings so that they go able for develop the agriculture instead of example the cacao, so that they know the crops where they bring that well developed crops, well resistant to the weather, they're resistant to pesticide. They know well in the way that the pesticide you know, affect them, especially when you get the seed now where they begin to produce when between they produce the fruits. But I'm not going to go in detail about that. But these are just the analysis no more say soil type, you get different soil type. You get clay, you get loam, you get clay loam, you get sand silts. These are the soil types we get in Salon. Then the other side now will not get much strong soil. Now the one that when a gravel area, where in most of the time if you dig deep, now then gravel stone the way they say mark with stone there because of the area it look geographically layer because of mining. But even there, you get some other areas there where you go say these are areas they wouldn't go develop. So it comes now to the idea where CC, then they get an agenda, what they call Agenda 2063. But this agenda 2063 is not the government. This is an agenda where the African Union and based on Africa and the government that we don't put together, they say that the Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program, CADP, for that they will able to develop and reduce hunger and poverty. You see, they mention about the issues and normal what they affect, what they then they try for promote and talk about areas where the ecosystem and I will side like a plant, you get side the whole butterfly where they help for pollination, or you they say you they get the animal and the plants relationship where they see the animal they help in terms of developing the soil, and then also at the end maybe you they grow the animal for letting go able for do something well. But look at this other section again where you been get where now they may get this section where they say that they use will not be get that the machine there, but they may get a system we don't begin to introduce. When they say na cows, then they use them for let them we use them for plow the soil. So those kind of things, then they develop and train the people. I don't see that one day, but it happen at a very smaller scale because one, you get for get the cow there, we get for do that one day for let them go develop. You get for feed them well. And a well matured cows them when a breed. So those are the areas that we talk about improved breeding. Because then get for get special size and special things. But that's not one thing where I don't see that they do. But you don't know if not a bigger scale or not a smaller scale. But you all come to the program that one day they don't do. Now a comprehensive program, then they talk about irrigation, the desert areas that we talk about soil development. So those desert areas then get their own projects. Because what they do like places like Sudan, Ethiopia, when they not be able to get rain, and they get for camping sulfur, hydrogen, hydrogen, and spray in the air, for them we will forget. Or all those kind of things, for them we will forget plants they grow, or irrigation to longer distances. But it's all a good project when you are bringing agriculture. But your question almost is some of these areas are they money spent? Because you see some of these things that what they come back you always say, but then they come with a project. So it left to you. Then they can't tell you say, well, we get money for this TRO. Well, it left to you who you are now. like what you talk about say now, just not this tell introduce say you never do you agriculture in the backyard because you did it. So you say let them remember you. So those kind of things, let's say in the good way. But this is the area where the government can know sometimes about things. I'm not saying that's what they are doing, but sometimes you go see say, well, let me take chance. Let we can put soil types. Let we do diversify crops. So by the time you dey finish all these kind of things, you come to the area where say granite, na tonkolele. You dey go then millets. Millets they grow for go like between yile between the year side for go na then side and bill for go towards Kono. That na area where agriculture wouldn't they say them when they talk about they concave people like those are the areas now millets they grow there. You they see about society they grow well na Lungi because of what and the soil type where they did. So can begin talk again for say okay well if you tell me say the soil type are you developing it or are you making it sustainable? Or you dey bring something when a fertilizer for can develop them. But all it comes to teaching the people how to do composting, like how they try to teach the people people they know what in a composting. People they know how to recycle the product for do crop rotation, crop in between and the. But when you talk about soil types now, then we not get a desert. We will not lost any biodiversity and climate change. It change really, but not so that way it change too much when they affect we. We not say there are floods, mitigation in the city, when they get other things them, when they not say climate change they occur. But when you look at the percentage of it, Salo not in that area. They look at the area which in agriculture don't begin they do. So the people are able for benefits and this they produce. Now we they see certain try for make margarine, but they need to make it more. They need to make palm oil. They need to make the people own their own business. And need for no say that why wouldn't they produce the rest because they try for diversity, well, not for the eat rest, which is good. Because we need proteins, and proteins are natural proteins working fine. One are ready-made proteins. And which are these ready-made proteins? The ready-made proteins are most of the time now the animal protein, not the ready-made one. Because the plants they produce their own protein. But you, the animal, now they convert them. Now, finally, they say fish protein higher than the protein working there pan granite or other things. Because when they eat them, you get for convert them. You see, while they eat the fish now, your protein is already ready. So those are the kind of comparison you're trying to do. So when you talk about the fish, we go left and for another day, even though fishing was part of agriculture, but those are the kind of things we look of. So you try to bring things. If you don't know, elect somebody we know about it. Or if you know about it, well, you explain what you know about it so that the people are able to understand. But what I have to say all about it again, this is what they call the language of modern politics. And the language of modern politicians now, they get intelligence. They know there is an emotional way when they will bring a speech or an address. Then they bring them with the agendas that they can get. Say, okay, will they put what they call the use the problem solution format. You see, then they write the people, then they talk, write like the people talk. Like they write like how the people talk. But when you write like how the people talk, now you go able for make, you go able to address what they say and use the problem solution format. Because the people and they don't talk, you don't go find out say they can't talk so the soil there and agriculture this and so they plant and this and this there and that. No, we just try to establish it first before we can begin bring improvement. But when you always say I want for sure say now me get the best one, the best one so I go say well me on pass this, it go find only when you develop and from another stage where you not been there at all. You see, say like other investment program when they bring time, you not been there, then they bring and come. But when something we don't do there, all we try for do the history and based on what the people they talk, and then you're able to find the solution and the format instead of they use a modern language, politics, emotional intelligence. Say the people and then they eager for hearing because the corner people and they want this or the people over there this tumor bomb they need this because they are emotional. They give that emotional speech. We are not saying they are not doing it, but this is what politics is all about sometimes. But we only wait so that God will help them reduce the hunger and poverty through these strategies. Yeah, they are not used for say because program there No go take money, we can't invest, we can't put on because projects they wouldn't give it. So we're able to bring and we say we don't bring this. Let them the right projects, project the agricultural projects and they where they don't put down, where they talk about this CADP, when I this continental framework, we don't try for bring camp. These are things when they know say they get animals and they get the plantations, they want to use the plantation, they grow at this place here. And then they then get place there like what if I wanna Kailan or Bo complete time to those are the areas where they for try say the soil they have to go and no go try put something there, no go put manure, no we irrigate there, no we rehabilitate that soil there so that the soil will become. But Salon one thing after the Civil War that the time that one day when them before don't realize say they before don't fight for new agriculture because there was a lot of bush fallow. There was a lot of bush fallow. What do you mean? The most of them bushes and they not been they occupy them because now rebels have been there. Is that they've been there like Charlie Camp, all those places, Marampa, or the Kono, those bushes, Kailan, those eastern areas, areas that people don't even do agriculture except for few places. So what them they do, they leave this bush, then they follow, then they develop. So by that time they wouldn't develop and tell now what they do. But what did they do? Because the bush don't follows, people then turn into deforestation. Because the forest been there. That was the forest where the rebels and we traveled from north Kailang, say the guys are free talk. And because it's an open forest, then before don't see them, open desert, then before don't see them long things when they come. But they use the forest to move. And those are the forests where people then turn around, where they say, let we try for deplete the land, for use then timber there, so we will forget money, so that the money, will turn white for let go bring income, which is good. But in the end, we know the face to agriculture. So it is a one big hole and cover hole. But the only way where I feel say infrastructure go able to come, roads then go find, agriculture will develop, now where roads then find, where people in plantation then we able for harvest time, they able for get access, for let them go buy another hand, for let them self canceller and storage. And no say then they plan that. But we don't know in what scale. That is the question. They are doing it, but we don't know what scale. They say they try for put anything there, but we're waiting. We're waiting to see. We can never tell. But only hope say God will able to help them as leaders, the emotional intelligence when they get, let it be in the positive way, wherein the problem solution format when they go try for bring, it will benefit so that themselves tomorrow then will left a legacy. Let it not will be no more a place wherein a battlefield, when a war of wars, people that want for shoot who are the best, that people already get that passion they don't get for day. No for no, what thing that person do. I not can't do for can make for can make me name. I can't here for can help poor citizens. People don't suffer that place. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. God bless.
Thank you very much, friend.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk about presidentbio in speech at Parliament, and today we look on infrastructure and agriculture. You know, say Parliament no go sit down, small thing happen. I don't know if you know, but in case you don't know, C4C parliamentarian them, 5 of them, and they see so. Also, you see them 5 honorable gentlemen them team up. Then do a walkout protest today. And say them walk out because say then we don't get issue with Sir Emerson Lamina. Say they don't want her. That chair where they sit down. But you know how the team be end now, where the Speaker of the House say and it will get a smooth ride. So let me wait today for make themselves do their own protest. So peacefully, let me walk out. Let's see how that one day go continue for them. Yes, caller, ID live on air. Your name and also the call from, please.
This is Mike. I call from Philadelphia.
Yes, Mike, you get 3 minutes. What you get for me?
I want to commend the president. A good speech. But ultimately, another speech day, we don't see it, Mr. President. We don't see nothing yet. You know. And for the Lungi people, they want to wait for the Lungi bridge. And for tell them, let them buy ferry then first before they go for the bridge. They're not buy ferry yet, not the worry about bridge. Not wasting our time, man. I don't understand how who's kind of hope what's a lot of people and they hope say something will happen. Like nothing not they happen. All let you on that campaign and the campaign now. They know they will build bridge inside 2 years. They know they build them bridge in inside 5 years, sir. You know. So no, not even wasting the time. Not wasting the time, but then they, yeah. Nothing not they happen. Street guy told me to wait for 30 and not do it. Yeah, man, that guy, you see, make a laugh. You know, the one on speech, I just like it. I like when they inside comedy show, where they enjoy the comedy. Even the parliamentarian, it look like they say they enjoy the comedy. They enjoy the clap. All man, they clap. You know, but the agricultural part, man, I want the Minister of Agriculture, I want to get an idea. Because it looks like they don't sabi how to move anything go forward in that country. You know, the thing what they call avocado, what they call pear, you know, if you're not able to create a farm for that day and sell on a you, then they alone go create more money for we. Just avocado alone. If you're not able to plant there and then you wanna sell and go Europe, then it go create money for we. Because for the avocado they all they eat now South America they come on. Even $1 So if you're not able to create them business today, just in the agriculture alone, we're not able to make more money instead of just rice. Even the rice there, we're not they do nothing. Them man, they need for sacrifice for the good of that country. Then, and then they would pray for. You know, man like me, I don't hate President Bio. I don't hate her because when it comes with the free education, I support the free education. You know, I do boku donation towards the free education. But the way the country they go now, then they will not let. I don't appreciate just the lies they want to tell. You know, if we not they do something, one thing at a time. If we not they fix road, they wanna fix the road there. Move to the next thing. When they try to catch up on everything, they will not do nothing. You know, it's very frustrating. All man they wait now for this development. The development that they come. Who say the traffic light there? What happened with Dandy now? What happened with the traffic light there? Because then something what we want to do about say traffic light and they come up. What happened with the overpass there? None of that they not happy yet. Man, they waste people in time, man. It's not 5 years of waste. Complete waste, man. Nothing only happening under again. And then the build no bridge. The airport if I doubt that if it will be like airport under for now. I mean anything they say now, I just a doubt. We just wait and see no more because 2 more years from now, the election if some people elect what you do, then go vote to our back. If they don't elect what you do, then go vote to our house. But me, I don't get hope again for this administration. You know? They don't completely fail me. They don't fail all man as alone. You know, people in a salon get high hopes for them, but look like say at this direction will they go, the wrong direction. And I'm your contribution, Ali, bro.
Thank you very much, Mike. Yes, call ID live on air. Your name and where you call from, please.
This is Ezekiel. I call from Oregon.
Yes, Ezekiel. You get 3 minutes. Waiting now your contribution today.
Thank you so much, Triple A, for
Hold on.
allowing me for that contribute. I not listen to all of the president's speech, but the few I listen to, like what Mike be say, this speech is good. I think you've been done talking before. They are very good at writing speeches. So this speech good. But the one day we be even talk about how electricity supply in good state now, you know, like they even the one that they have been they all applaud for them. Then all man say, because you know the reality is there, you know. How many times when they start your program, all of a sudden something happens, light go off. But anyway, I want to go back to the project part, like what might be say. From the beginning, I been try for say me not to pessimistic person, but the reality of things we they talk is necessary for what we look at. You know, that bridge, you know, I don't know why then they continue for they like really manipulate with people. especially when you begin talk say, if for be a business, you know talk say, now somebody don't volunteer for sponsor we for build that bridge. Right there, you for know. There is no sane board member where idepa a business. We go look at that bridge issue from last place they Freetown to Lungi. Now Sierra Leone, we go see yes, now business ideal. No way. We not getting enough vehicle for sponsor anything that day. I don't know. Alexa, you put out forever unless they not care about profit making. And whatever little way they get up a year, if they are comfortable with them, but for that kind of business, then they go spend 2 billion plus for build a bridge yonder. You know, I always talk because San Francisco Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, it always remind me anytime where somebody they talk about Lungi Bridge. Salt water is very, very what is it? A worm for destroy things there. So you put iron there, somebody need for this all the time for Kira. And I know that country about repairing. This so half thing there for so day. Where did they look at her? Would they even spending time for renovate things there? So the idea of that bridge there actually just continue for light with people there is so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. You know, the other day somebody they argue with me about how because I don't like SLPP and I make I can talk some things. No, show me one thing. You just focus on one thing. The first time of APC where they be focused on the roads, people in fact they crown in power, they crown even need for talk too much. Or maybe they talk world best until the second time they mess up. Show me one thing on your first time. That's why now the 10 and the way for propose on something where you want work on when everybody see and say yes, you did try because the country is small and we not get enough resources for grab every side. But if then people have be grab even electricity and water for the main cities and for later, nobody not for scratch their head. If you want grab you grab in the middle of the night, you want water day for what? Somebody go point at that. But no, you just they go and make plans, talk. You know? Lord we see him. Speech good, but Lord we see tangible thing. Thank you so much, Triple A.
Thank you very much, Ezekiel.
Yes, sir.
Scholar ID live on air. You name and say the call from, please.
Yeah, good evening, Triple A. It's Mr. Fofana from Holland, Abdraman Fofana.
Yes, Mr. Fofana, you get 3 minutes. So what you get for me?
Okay, no, me on point where I'm making a very short point. Now, one thing, at one thing I want to ask. Me now, who's watching this government will get where they can put in money, where they can invest in money from that Lungi Bridge? Because if I remember, let's say they put that Lungi Bridge in that country, anybody will get our capacity to can make that Lungi Bridge. For I get back in money, it go very tranga that before they go to profit. Because even said when they go to salon, I would say they not reach 20. So if they say they go spend $1.2 billion for make one bridge, at that time we get that money due. Then that's one. Number two, the president every day, anytime when they give speech, they say my government. It's not our government, it's his own government. That is the two question me when me want to ask. Because at the end when they give speech, they say my government. The government is your own or is our government? That is all Triple for this tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fofana. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Let's call ID on air. You name and say the call from, please.
Yeah, Triple A, this now, the call from Los Angeles are clear.
Loud and clear, sir. Get 3 minutes, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, my brother. It looked like say the first three caller and we don't call before me. They all say the same thing about this government. If any SLPP supporter they would listen. We not hate Marabio. Me, I'm not in a salon for election. I don't talk now sometimes and the people and visit me na APC. Now they not me come out. But no, I dey defend Marabio to the last. But the thing is, Marabio not a pikin. Marabio na full grown man. Marabio is not retarded. His senses are all correct. Why he go sit down? Then minister waiting a point. Then they can then write something on paper, then get and say, yeah, go talk. Then you go sit there talk. You know, question them first. Because they're not gonna tell me, say, now where Marabio they on the way they go up the hill, where don't pass State House, they go now towards Tower Hill. Now and then get on the paper, then say Mutuka say, yeah, all the minister, the all man can get and you say, yeah, pa, look me on. No. Nothing they want to say they don't react on. In it, they ask question. This Mr. Denby guy where they eat so much money in that State House day. Marabione they ask and say, who side would on they? Who don't get contract? People that don't come out. Because me they go at the front, me they go telling people yeah, every day say Lungi Bridge, Lungi Bridge. Now this same guy tell me say something big go come December. You remember that when go sit on 98.1 in talk? In fact, now they first step now, go tell we say the price don't reduce to 1.2. So Marabia, what did they tell me today? Not to nothing new. Now that man me first go tell me on 98.1. It said the price don't reduce, they're not going to make that road again for the tram system. And he said, we now the young one, and we don't go, we go can now and continue that. He talk all that. Now he said something big go come before Christmas. Pass over here, that what they again today. Marabia, they talk about Federal Road. Federal Road now one of the worst na saloon. Not Federal Road, not today. He come back today, they tell we about the traffic light. Salon no get traffic light. Now I make today where they interview the head of APC, Cherikoko. Now Cherikoko say this speech I just like say now we praise because now things are world because it look like that. Because now only one traffic light in a salon. Now let's back Roma put on the road where they talk Waterloo to what they call now let's back Roma project now that toll road because Mr. Self don't drive there month after last I drive there. Now the toll road and take money now we hand with them maybe now you can't force them because they don't stop first. Maybe now you can't force them now say when I finish them. The dependent serious one. But not to in your project that. But again, government are continuity. So we go get on that. But not to say we understand say nobody the way Salon be done wreck. Who's our APC level? Marabio not be able to do that in 3 years. But now Marabio now in the tell we. Now in the tell we say go do this. Marabio now in tell we say go build the diagnostic center. Where woman they now, if they get knife, let them go church them, but let them know if they not get breast cancer, they're not going to go again pay how much $1,000 for going to Ghana. If somebody gets prostate now, self, or they want colonoscopy side for go do them. When a common thing them. Now until we say the money we can fall again, now that money they go take, it don't talk and treat in a parliament. Maybe it don't shame now next today, not even bring that up. It talk about the overpass. It talk about the traffic light. He talk about the bus system. Then they don't even do a survey on their road and they beside the bus, then they stop by stop. So not to say would they accuse Marabio say in government for do volunteer. No, now Marabio in government, I tell we the people of Sierra Leone say na they can't do. Some of the things and they don't do visibility study already. Some of them they don't even go shovel la ground. So not to say, oh, how still don't damage for 11 years, not to 3 years. Well, we understand that, but not to we say. Now in young government, in minister, now they say that they do the here. They don't come at television, they not hide. Bang bang they instead if they go per your State of the Union address, it continue to tell me the same thing. Me the good thing I pull from there because it's not corner let God make let them build the university in a corner. So we relative that will let they're not going to graduate, they can't all the way in McKinney or Freetown, they look for university. And he mentioned something about ferry. I hope say they look for the ferry because they say me at the road forward. I go love the bridge. I love the bridge. And I love the expansion. Look, LAX. LAX right now, they don't go almost $14 billion. We're not to brand new airport too. na extension in the pandu. What they not even go fight. $40 billion, not in the panel. The pan a serious one. So the 250 million, to me, now been a win-win case for Salon. 250 million and nothing. But all the thing and the way neighbors say that they go did it. But in it they happen. In it they happen, and now in they tell we. If they tell we say that thing, then go do them. So if we complain, we get right for complaint. Because not of us say we just sit on the money and we categorize all and here we say pa now then here wallow do. Now he said then they do them. Now minister and so they do them. Now anytime we ready for go talk to the nation, then they give them paper, go see them, read them paper. So not of us say if SFP people say they arrest this man or we're expecting for do all that here in 3 years, it's not possible. But now in the tell we, so we for hold on to that. Now that's no more me brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Omar. Call as they don't say, we look presidentbio in speech, where he go with na parliament. Inside the speech, he talk a lot. But for today, we focus on infrastructure and agriculture. Infrastructure, I think the one we trained them on at the Lungi bridge, and also the traffic lights them. Like I said, why they go through the statement where the president make. If you check 551, yeah, the date they wouldn't be given, it was June. It don't pass. Not so this one they come, they all don't pass. The visibility study, the this, the that, where them begin for do the prototype. By now they say the prototype for don't this safe. The one where they say they go fix 1 or 2 per the can't talk no more. What do they push them? Now they can't tell we. Now they can't tell we. And if you know you're not ready, no can't talk yet. If you know say you're not ready, no talk. But now, when the president don't lay them things standing at table, then people in talk. They just want us to run with it, just like I don't know, Parliament. I think it's fun, eh? Where the president they get past the president get for the wait force. If not, knock table, jan. Then they enjoy it. I think so. I think so. They enjoy them. I doubt if they listen well. But anyway, Nayanas alone. No, so. But the president, before he go read, I know say, Boku side and then I waiting 300 people they want to talk. Okay, as we go on, we will come. But not to the first time, this is the president, they go talk things them. Then later people then begin questions. Say, look like saying at the reality. But me waiting more, I want focus on today on the agriculture. Agriculture able for help Salon big time. Could you believe, say, then this year, we buy pepper 10,000 leons for cup? Pepper 10,000 leons for cup. Even though na rise and fall. Which will be get for land, say, granite, pepper, then they pull in a Guinea and Mali. We get vast land. But granite and pepper then they pull out. So anytime we have issue day now the road for cow inside, pepper price they go up. We get soil, but we import pepper. I know so a lot of people go say, when are the people they don't want plant? Agriculture not cheap. Agriculture is not cheap. Whenever we talk about Intel, we talk about the enabling environment. Whenever we talk about agriculture, we talk about the enabling environment. Remember, we talk about any other investment. If government can able to scheme we go force people for plant, people go plant. People go plant if government count a scheme. Not so the last time they count tractor, they pass up and no tractor, say look the tractor's picture and whatnot. They ask but outside they don't begin using tractor then they. Who say? But we still no one wake up as Sierra Leoneans them. We really need for wake up. Agriculture now. The rest are not good for talk. Who don't import resti? Yabaso not good for talk. We don't import yabaste. Now pepe. Yeah? Pepe they pull a Mali. Now import to the import pepe. We get fertile land. But when I import now they import. You think say if ways have been created for people for do farming, then go left, huh? I don't think so. I don't think so. If government wants if they can make their own farm, well, how would them be tell we but hey, and they don't overdue. Overdue self now understatement. It don't overdue. What do we say 5,000? Well, let government get farm. Hire the people them. Then they back na job creation. But then go say just now government need to do business. Government know they do business. Now we don't left, you don't say, we don't dip now. Waiting, water just now go begin for import water. Country will not get nothing. Then I think say hardship no go dey. And all the things that way they come, the taxes and GST, they wait for them. Papa government, all the money we don't tell we about so today. All the money inside agriculture, there we see some significant change. Not to just, bayang. Bayang airport. Hope say when this $50 million could come for people who want to do agriculture, some of you get for goodie. Let's see how it works. Get the criteria, you go there, and see how it works. Then you no make a party business at the end of the day, nothing no go come out the way good. It will be just another failed project. Tomorrow we will choose another 2 topic from within the president lane at table. Tomorrow, and then we go do. Unless something big happen. Okay? We'll be there back tomorrow. Till we meet again. Triple SA. Tata.